Yeah, I'm Chris Burton. I'm your Lord and bass player. I want to tell you how I write songs, and I have not written songs my entire life. When I did, I played bass and guitar most of my life. I didn't play bass for a lot of years. I didn't play it for 20 years. Over about 20 years, I stopped playing bass. But I did. I played some covers, partial songs. But the way I write songs is I'll pick up my bass and I start trying to find, I play with the different fret positions and the strings, and I try to find a little couple of notes, something that sounds cool, even if it's just tiny. I play with it and I experiment with it until I find something that sounds pretty cool that I create up with. I set something up, and that's one riff. And then if I have something like that, it may take years or it may come quick, but I try to add to it. I try to write something else and find another riff that'll fit into that. And I keep building on it until I have, basically a set of riffs that I build into a song, and then I organize them and form them into a song. I also, if I have words that'll come into my head, if I'm really pissed off at someone or I'm happy or I'm hurt, it's usually if I'm really pissed off at someone or something scared me. It's usually if I'm really pissed off. I'll write down some angry lyrics. I'll put them into my phone in my notes, and I'll save those words, and I have a whole list of stuff, and I write some words down, and I save them. And the way it works for me is most of the time, if I have some words that I've saved for a while, at some point I'll come up with some riffs for on my bass for a song, and I have some riffs and stuff. So then what I try to do is take the riffs out of my bass, and I go and I look for the words in my phone. I'm like, I could try plugging some of those words into my into the riffs I have, and a lot of the time I'll have to change the words, simplify it so it'll fit in easier, so I can play it and sing it. I might have to change some of the bass playing, but the way I build songs is I start with it just forming a riff, even if it's little, and I build off that riff, and I build multiple riffs, and then I try to plug words into it. That's how it works most of the time. I take my bass and I write some riffs, and like I said, you have to experiment with your instrument until you find something that sounds pretty cool to you. You may not have confidence at first, but you're finding your own voice. And like I said, if you have words in your head, someone really pissed you off, or someone hurt you, or made you really happy, or scared you, or something really was profound to you, write down some words in your phone. Just write words in your phone. Try to make them rhyme. Try to make lines. Try to make them make sense. But and like I said, for me, I write down riffs on my bass, and then once I have some riffs, I'll find some words in my phone. And go, I could plug this into this, and then I kind of reorganize it and fit it in together. Writing songs takes a minute. I couldn't do it for a long time. You have to experiment for a long time. You have to experiment. You keep experimenting, and then once you start experimenting, then you can start saying, "Well, I'm going to do this part 4 times. Then I'll do this riff twice. And I'll go back to this part 4 times." And you start organizing it, laying it out, and when you got the words in, you say, "I'm going to say these words right here. I'll repeat. I'll say 4 lines right here. Then there'll be a pause where I'm only playing the bass, and then in the next part I'll write 4 more lines." You just start to organize it, but you have to experiment first. And your songs, we were each an individual. We're like a snowflake. We're all different. We each have our own voice as a musician. Don't be afraid to find your own voice. The thing is, you have to experiment to find your own voice. You have to experiment. You have to try, and it takes playing around and messing with it and carving, and you have to experiment and try to find your voice. But write down your riffs if you're a bass guitarist or a guitarist. Write down some words in your phone and save them. Save all your riffs. Save your riffs in your phone. Record them. Take your phone camera and record your riffs, and save them in your phone. Take your words, put them in your notes. Save them in your phone. And then you never know what songs you could build eventually. But it's going to take some manipulating and messing around for a while before you start forming songs. That's what it did for me. Have a great day.